Shalom, shalom. Barakatah YAHAWAH WA YAHAWASHI. Peace, salutations to the Akim. Select few Akwakim out here enduring and pushing this truth, especially for the brothers out there. I want to get right into this one. This little video real quick. This one was circling around. One of the brothers sent this to me, but I'm going to show y'all the scriptures on this and the biblical prophecy on this. So look, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? Every person you see from Ghana, from Nigeria, from the Shanti tribe, all that, man, look, we've done several breakdowns on this, but listen, remember the Israelites were scattered during captivity, right? Sub-Saharan, whatever they want to call it, slave trade, Atlantic slave trade. The Atlantic slave trade, for those, I know some brothers deal with that numerology stuff, but it's foretold in the scriptures, right? That ain't the subject of this topic, but matter of fact, I'll just say, yeah, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. I'll just use that because I'm going to go right into Ham. Okay, this video is circling around. You got some of the chiefs of different nationalities, but anyway, I'll say different countries or whatnot, or tribes in Africa, apologizing, saying for what our ancestors did. Remember, Hebrews, when people say black people sold black people into slavery, that's false. Hamites sold Hebrews into slavery. Okay, so let's not forget that. All right, but we're gonna get right into it, and we're gonna get right to the charge at hand. This is why the Most High has a charge against the so-called Ethiopians, the so-called Hamites, the Edomites, Amalekites, Ishmaelites. He got a charge against all of them because they all conspired and got together. That's what today, for y'all don't know who that is, that would be your so-called Arabs, your so-called people from the Caucasus Mountain, right? It would be all of them, French, Poland, Portuguese, all that. When all them people, they did a land grab for the Americas and for Africa. They did a land grab. That's why y'all down there speaking French. By the way, Negro land, look up an old map from the 1700s. Central, West Africa, even going into parts of South Africa, was called Negro land. And before that, it was called Kingdom of Wahuda, right? Which Wahuda is, anyway, do the research. Go back, that's French for Judah. That was the Kingdom of Judah. They knew exactly who they were getting, who they were selling, who they were fighting. Let me play a little bit, and I'm going to get to that prophecy on that.
I wish at this point to particularly to apologize deeply on behalf of the chiefs and people of Gold Coast and Ghana for the atrocities, the cruelty, the inhuman treatment that were committed 400 years ago.
I see Hamites.
By my ancestors during the Atlantic slave trade, where over 400 years ago, millions of our brothers and sisters were captured, sold, and transported under inhumane and cruel circumstances through Elmina Castle across to the Caribbeans and to the New World.
Know what? I'm gonna pause it right there because look, y'all got to see things in the spiritual. That man happy, that man smiling. It's in his spirit. He said his ancestors. Okay, so I want y'all to understand something. Let's get to the prophecy. Matter of fact, for time's sake, let's get right into this. This has not happened yet. Remember, when we gonna be judged at the end, right? Lord YAHAWASHI gonna separate obviously the wheat from the chaff, right? The organic from the non-organic. So letting you know your seed, your bloodline, your heritage, that matters. It don't matter about everybody who believe in Jeebus. That's nowhere even in the scriptures. It's false. He gonna gather all the nations. He gonna separate everybody. That's what the word holy means. Separate. Get right back over there to the Caucasus Mountain where I had your ass. Right? That's how he gonna do it. Right? Let's get to it. Here's the prophecy of this. We're gonna start at Joel chapter 3. Right? Verse 2. This ain't happened. It's judgment day, right? Now he gonna call out what you seeing right now. The Most High said all these nations gonna start to apologize, but it's too little, too late. You took it in blood. The Most High gonna get it back in blood. That's why I say they're gonna be expecting a lamb but get a lion. Remember, then the end times, all these other nations gonna turn and try to fight the Israelites. When they see them chariots in the sky, they're gonna try to fight us. Let's get it. Verse 2, I will also gather all nations, right? See, you didn't say nothing about Christian denominations. And I will bring them down to the valley of YAHAWASHI, and I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. So-called Negroes out there, we Hebrews, we ain't black, we ain't African American, right? Whom they, look at those possessive pronouns, he, his, her, they, them. Don't they use them today in corporate America? What do you identify as? The Most High is identifying who he's coming after. Whom they have scattered amongst the nations. You scattered them into slavery. Most High said, I was just mad with them for a little bit. Y'all tried to finish them off. You did this, right? And parted my land. Look at verse 3, right? And they have cast lots. So them same they, find out who they are. They have cast lots for my people, right? On the auction block. How they put us on slavery auction block. Here we got a little boy, 25, 35. Yeah, that's why they do that today, right? Barry Jackson Auto and stuff. That's what they do today, right? They have cast lots for my people. They have given a boy for a harlot. Given a boy for a harlot. Now that a lot of people are just now waking up, right? YAHAWAH that casting a boy for a harlot is they had slave breeding farms. They would separate the men, you know, the athletic ones, those of us who taller than 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3", 6'5", LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, all of them would have been separated, and they would have bred them with other big women slaves intentionally. It didn't matter how old they were. That's selling a boy for a harlot. Hey, let me get that slave. Well, he's old, but he's 6'8". He's 60 years old, but he's 6'8". Let me put him with this young girl who's 19 and she's 6'3". Today, people look at that and say, man, let's get together and have children. We're gonna have little NFL babies, little NBA babies, little WNBA babies. That's what they was doing. That's selling a boy for a harlot. Now I'm gonna keep back into it. And sold a girl for wine. These are your bed wenches. When they would get together and have them parties on Thursdays and Sunday nights, right? Especially on Sundays, they would make us box. They would literally, for a bottle of wine or a bottle of Jack Daniels, right? Look into the story of Uncle Nearest. There's a whiskey called Uncle Nearest. His name is Nathan Green. He invented whiskey and Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels didn't invent nothing. He's a slave owner who took it from him. Okay? They would say, hey, let me get my turn at Shaniqua. That's what they should say. And he should be like, give me that bottle of Jack you got. You can have her. She's a good little bed wench. She's a good little house Negro. That's what the Most High is saying. You sold my boys, you sold my men's for harlots, right? And you sold my girls for wine that they might drink. Verse 4. Now, this is what you see in present day, right? Over in a lot of those countries from Africa, that's fool's gold, man. Y'all stop running back over there. Right here in Babylon, America, this is the main attraction. This is the main event. If you know anything about the scripture and understand what salvation is and all that, why would you want to leave from her? This is the main attraction. The people who fleeing and doing all that, the Most High ain't dealing with them. Look what he says, right? He said, yeah. First off, that's how you know it's us. So we always saying yeah and a in between our sentences and when we talk, right? And yeah, what you have to do with me, oh, Tyre and Zidon. Tyre and Zidon are old ancient African tribes. They was a collection of, so it's just like if you saying, you Floridians. Well, in the state of Florida, you got Orlando, you got Miami, you got Fort Lauderdale, you got Jacksonville, you got St. Augustine, you see how many different cities, and I could go on and on and on, right? When they talk about Tyre and Zidon, that was just the name for all, like that would be their state, but there were many different tribes. This is the Most High saying, what you niggas got to do with me? Y'all ain't Hebrews. I don't mess with y'all. I know what y'all did. Now he called this out before they did it, because he's the Ancient of Days. He looked to the left and see the past, the right to see the future. That's why they call the Most High the Ancient of Days. He invented time. Time don't exist to him, right? That's why I say 1,000 days to us is like a day to him. He's like, man, that's like a day to me. What you mean time? right? That's why people say so-called black people, we move on CP time. Because our father invented time. We don't move when y'all say move. I don't call people back when they think I'm finna call them back. And nah, bro. I move when the Most High say move, not when you think I should move, right? Let's get back into it. And what you have to do with me, Tyree, Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine. Yeah, he included them too. Them and the people who occupying the land of is not real right now. They all fighting over land is not theirs. It belongs to us. He said, will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, I will return your recompense upon your own head. Here's why I'm going to do this to all of y'all. This is what he's saying. Because the Most High always give you a reason, right? Because you have taken my silver, my gold, and you carried them into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. You have taken our menorah, our shofars. You've taken our scriptures, our Bible, our gold. They used to dig us up. Part of the Ashanti tribe used to dig the Levites up. People act like we don't know. Yes, it's not hard to find out. Anyway, I ain't gonna get into that. It's a different topic. The Ashanti tribe, y'all look into this history and travel to gain knowledge. Don't travel to post pictures in the clear canoe with your ass all out. Travel to gain knowledge, like the scriptures say. The Ashanti tribe used to dig up my people. They used to dig up the Levites. We had our breastplates on. They would dig us up from our graves and take our jewelry. Don't they do that today? And so when all the Edomites and the heathen nations, right, the Spaniards, all them, Mongolians, when all them came and the Moabites came, they thought the Ashanti tribe were Levites because they would steal our jewelry when we died. And then they found out, they said, wait a minute, they can't even grow their hair, they can't even grow beards, they ain't Israelites. Anyway, y'all, that's homework for y'all, right? Verse 6, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold to the Grecians. You sold them to the Edomites. You sold them to the Germany, the UK, French, Russia, America. You sold them to them. Y'all partnered up with them. We was at war with all these devils collectively. They all came together to fight against the children of Israel. We was at war with these devils off the coast of Africa. Don't believe them stories like he talking about the slave mansion back there. You listening to Hamites tell your story. No, we was at war with them too. Off the coast of West Africa and Northern Africa for 58 years. That's longer than a war in Afghanistan. They all jumped in on us. Most High say an eye for an eye, right? That's why we brought her to the Americas and the Babylon, right? And other diasporas. So World War III, what he doing? All the nations gonna turn on him. No, you got all the nations conspired together and put my children into slavery. So now I'm gonna take all the nations and conspire together against you and burn you with fire. That's what the scriptures say. No Christians do that. None of that. They created Christianity. Come on now. Let me keep going in there. Verse 6, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold to the Grecians, that ye might remove them from their border. Verse 7, behold, I will raise them out the place where you have sold them. This ain't happened yet, right? And I'm going to return the recompense upon your own head. This goes with Isaiah chapter 14. So when you see some of the righteous Israelites, right, including myself, right, because people don't know what the word righteous means. Right? I had somebody ask me the other day, are you righteous? Do you know what the word righteous means? Do you know what you're asking? Right? When you see them say, hey, they going into slavery. Everybody, they all going into slavery. It's because the Most High said so. Yeah, I'm going to return the recompense upon your own head. Verse 8, I'm going to sell your sons and daughters unto the hand of the children of Judah. Right? And they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, to a people far off, for Yahawah have spoken it. Now, it ain't just about the Hamites and the rest of them. I'm just showing y'all, this is why they apologize and they doing all this, because they know judgment is coming. The only nation of people the Most High did not promise any mercy to, or didn't say any mercy to, right, was Amalek and Esau. Everybody else, now the mercies of the Most High is different. He's like, no, they still going into slavery. They're going to be handmaids, bondsmen, in other words, house niggas, field niggas. They're going to be just like that, right? But he wasn't going to off them immediately. The Amaleks and Esau and them, right? The ones who forced y'all to take them shots a few years ago. He's offing them off the entire planet. They will cease to exist after 1,000 years. You won't see them no more. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let me pull that up right now. Let's get that. Let's get it. Right here. We go to 2nd Israel, right? Because the Most High showed Israel the end times. I'm just jump right to it. Y'all read through this on your own. 2nd Israel 11 and 45, right? And therefore appear no more. Thou eagle, because he refers to them as the eagle, right? Look, read the book of Obadiah, right? That's why every nation, everything that they have control over, their providences, their territoryships, etc., they use that eagle, right? And therefore appear no more the eagle, nor the horrible wings. So when I say, bro, look, they all gonna fight against each other. Don't get it twisted. Russia, America, Babylon, same thing. United Kingdom, France, Europe. Don't matter. Argentinians, Spaniards, doesn't matter. They all the same eagle. They just got different wings. Some blonde, some brunette. Deal with it. We don't care. Right? And therefore appear no more the eagle, nor the horrible wings, nor the wicked feathers, nor the malicious heads, nor the hurtful claws, nor all the vain body. So the Most High was showing Ezra everything. And he's like, yo, where they at? I didn't see them no more. He showed him us here in Babylon, America. Then he showed him in the kingdom of heaven during and after our rulership. And he was like, where the Edomites go? I see other nations, but they were slaves to the Israelites because it was a repayment. He said, but where the one people at? It's like you walking outside your house one day and you see Planet of the Apes. You can be like, where all the so-called YT people go? Where they go? The Most High was like, gone off my planet. They are cancer to the earth. Right? Look in verse 46. That all the earth may be refreshed and may return, because they got to return to the Israelites. They got to return to the law. They got to return to righteousness. The word repent means to return, meaning turn back. Turn back to what? The law, Christians. That's what it means, right? Being delivered from the violence. Look at what they're doing today. It's number of violence since they left those Caucasus Mountains of Russia. And that she may hope for the judgment and the mercy of him that made her. They're going to be begging, wishing, and hoping, like, please give us mercy. And be like, no, you didn't show my children no mercy. They ain't showed us no mercy here, right? Half of the people now in Babylon, America, what has been like over 3 million jobs have been laid off since January 1st. Man, it's the middle of February. How is that possible? Let me get the other one. Second Ezra, chapter 12. There's another one in here. Let's get there. It's right there at 3. Okay, here it is. I started 2. Right? Now I get the whole thing, 1 through 3. I don't want to leave no meat on the bone, right? And it came to pass while the lion spake, while the Lord YAHAWASHI was standing on that mountain, as we just read in Joel chapter 3, the valley of YAHAWASHAPHAT, these words unto the eagle, right? I saw. Go watch a movie called The Chronicles of Narnia. You are seeing the lion, everything is subliminal, destroy that eagle and that witch. Because everything here is witchcraft and eagle. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing that lion. They thought they killed the lion. Remember, they shaved his head, pierced his side. They thought the lion was dead. And then he appeared again. That's what you were seeing. They were showing you that, right? And behold, the head that remained and the 4 wings appeared no more. Meaning, I didn't see them no more. And the 2 went into it and set themselves up to reign. And their kingdom was small and filled of uproar. And I saw, and behold, there appeared no more. Once again, see, he said it 5 times now. And the whole body of the eagle was burnt. I mean, this is what John the Revelator, right? And when we read the book of Revelations, he said he heard and saw 200 million arrows hitting Babylon. That means he saw missiles, bombs, nukes, bullets, etc. He saw 200 million. Everybody teamed up and shot off them things at the same time. You can't stop them all, homeboy. One of them gonna get through. That's what they did, right? And the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear. Then, right? Awake thou out of the trouble and trance of my mind, right? And from great fear, and said unto my spirit, right? So he's saying, I'm just getting right to it. Y'all go read all this, because the Most High explained it to him. Look, even verse 10, right? He giving them an interpretation. I'm going to go ahead and get that. 2 Ezra 12, verse 10. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. Because he's like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? What is this I'm seeing? And y'all go read this, and the Most High finna explain it and say, every last one of them I took off the face of the earth. He didn't keep Jennifer and Allison's little child, and he didn't keep none of them, your cool co-worker. He said, nah, they all gotta go. All of them. Because if they were in agreement with you, they would relinquish your land. But no, they still getting mortgages, they buying land, they getting credit cards and cars and all that, and they still look down and talk down upon you over their Thanksgiving dinner. They know they cousins and moms and granddads and all them races. They still go over there and break bread with them. They still take them checks for their college tuition, don't they? So they in agreement with you being oppressed. That's what that means. The Most High go off actions, liptures, right? He don't go off liptures. He go off scriptures. There you go, right? Let me keep going. Matter of fact, let's get that in standby. Let's get that in. I believe that's Jeremiah, where the Most High told Jeremiah and all of us that he said, hey, all of your adversaries, what we just read, everybody who had a hand in on your slavery, people say, it wasn't me, it was long ago. Man, we in a regeneration. You are your great, 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 great grandparents, by the way. You are them. What you mean? I wasn't around. Yes, you were. You are them. Everybody who walking this earth today, we are the ones who was in Rome walking with the Lord YAHAWASHI. So if you one of the prophets I heard, man, I can say, man, I salute y'all. I salute y'all. Some of us remember. Some of us, you a disciple, you a prophet too. Those of us who arguing with us, lipping back, yada yada, them prideful women, those who are the women of Corinthia, which is America. Those are the women of Galatia, right? And Ephasia, right? And Samaria. Those are those women. They prideful, walk around, right? Skies out, thighs out. All that. That's them. They're back here today. They're prideful. They come up. They want to argue with you and because their God is Zeus. That's who they was worshiping at the altar in Pergamos. That's their God. Let them be, bro. They 2/3. Let them be. I ain't going back and forth with you. Let them be. Look at Jeremiah chapter 30. There it is. Verse 16. This is a commandment. This is a prophecy. People think this not going to happen. Therefore, all they, remember, that's that they word again. See, the Most High showed the prophets, prophecies. I showed them the end times. I showed them what's going to happen. So why would you not listen and not read it? Like, Christianity is dumb. It's a hell of a drug. People just say, oh, that's old. Nigga, have you read it? And they unequivocally sit there and shock and blink like a deer in headlights. This is concerning the Lord YAHAWASHI, because who's going to do all of this? The Lord YAHAWASHI, the person who they call Christos, who they call Christ. He's going to do all of this. So why would you not? What he going to do? Let me see. Whoa, wait a minute now. Hold on. Look at verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. That's a commandment. So he did away with this commandment? That's a commandment from the Most High that's going to happen in the end times when we deliver out of salvation. Right? And all your adversaries, all thine adversaries, you ask a Catholic, a Christian, Muslim, all that, who are the adversaries of the Israelites? They crickets. They couldn't tell you. The devil and everybody who, no. They don't even know who it is. How you not going to know who your enemy is? Let that sink in. All thine adversaries, every one of them, that means man, woman, and child. Every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for prey. Right. And for I will restore health unto thee, unto you, not unto all those who believe in the name of Jesus. No, he going to restore it unto the Israelites. It's going to be brought back. Everybody who's low now, even people come over from other countries, right? Come over from Nigeria and Ghana and different little countries of Africa. Now, they look down upon the Negro people who are here, knowing we from the bloodline of the Yahawashi. I'm going to restore it unto you. All them who laughing, laugh now, cry later. You had a lot to say. You guys are lazy. You guys are this. Say, bro, y'all get grants and money when y'all move over here. Stop playing with us. Y'all don't even have social security numbers. FICA, FIC, See, the FICO scores was invented for the Negroes through the government. First, it was at a grocery store. The government took it and stuck it on the Negroes. We was born automatically. Our credit score was less than 500. You could be a white male and turn 18. They'll start it at 720. I could just go out and get a house based off a handshake. We couldn't. It was invented for us to keep us down. You come over here. No other countries outside, they don't have social security numbers. They come over here. They could just get a house, a car, or this. That's why you see so many immigrants over here balling. And they look down. They frown down upon the Israelites here in Babylon. They all had their hand in on our captivity. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let me finish reading. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal your wounds, said Yahweh. Because here's why I'm going to do it. They called you an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. I mean, we all Israelites. We all you. Let that sink in. You heard nobody waking up saying, you ain't Asian. You ain't Chinese no more. Everybody is a Chinese person. All I got to do is believe in orange chicken. All I got to do is believe in cream cheese rangoons, and I'm Asian too. That's what they say. Well, we all God's people. Y'all don't matter. That's what he's saying. He said, I'm going to do this because who they think they are? They think I'm a deadbeat daddy? You think I'm going to call y'all my children and then say, everybody my children now? No, your baby daddy is a deadbeat. The Most High is not. Let's get that. I mentioned adversaries, and I'm going to wrap it up real quick. But don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe with these devils. Here are the adversaries of Israel. And all these people here, plus others, right, had a hand in on our captivity. All of them. Check it out. Psalms 83:1. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee. So there's people who hate God on this planet. Not that was just the devil. No, there's nations of people, bloodlines, nationalities that hate the Most High himself. He's the power, the God, if you will, of the Israelites. He's not the God of every other nation. Let that sink in. A people, bloodline. That's why you've heard of so-called Negro spirituals. I ain't never heard of no other ones. They all know our songs though. Right? For lo, thy enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted up thy head. They look down upon us, bro. They frown upon us. Right? Even in the neighborhood that I live in, I get deliveries and all that. I open my door, they kind of jump back. Like, oh, damn, it's a nigga who live here. That's the looks that you get. They expect it. Oh, nah, nigga, what? It's supposed to be rats and roaches running out the door when I open it. I ain't supposed to smell potpourri and stuff. Look at verse 3. So the same ones, he finna get into it, they have taken crafty counsel. Remember, I believe that's in Daniel. But I want to roughly paraphrase. I don't want to misquote one of the Akims. Y'all put this down there. It's in Daniel or Ezekiel where the Most High told one of them. I think it was Daniel. He was like, yo, the devil, Satan, he's like, he knows the scriptures better than you. What you mean? He's smart. He's smart. They're going to put stuff in your cereal that's going to give you cancer, give you high blood pressure, give you diabetes. Now all of us walking around with our legs, toes, feet, arms, knees chopped off. They are crafty. This is what he's saying. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against the hidden ones. This is called the United Nations. That's what that is. They have said collectively when they all got together to put us in slavery, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Now they're going to be called Afro-Americans, African-Americans, Negro, Black, Indian. They called us Indians when they first got here. The word Indian means black. It means more. It means Hebrew, by the way. With no $5 Indians over here. Miss me with that. Right? Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasharallah, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. That's why once we went into captivity and slavery, you never heard about the state of Israel again until 1948. There was nobody there because we were gone. We was fighting these devils for over 58 years. And we was running from them for hundreds of years. Right? They have said, come, let us cut off them from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. Now you don't remember. Well, I'm a Christian. I'm a listen. I'm the blood of Jesus. Nah, bro, you are an Israelite. And they put a spin on it, saying black Hebrew Israelites. That's redundant. That's your nationality. It's your bloodline. It's not a religion. Now, there are some of these Masonic groups out here that the government has created to throw people off, just like they did with the Black Panther Party. They infiltrate and then they change it up to throw people off because the average person does not read. They do not study. They do not care. They believe in this world because they're of the world. Verse 5, they have consulted together with one consent, NATO. They are confederate against you. What you mean? Prison reform, and I'm trying to fix the community. What you doing? You can't, this system, the whole world system was set up against you. You an Israelite by blood. That ain't that's your bloodline. How they say, I'm Asian, I'm this. You're an Israelite. That's your bloodline. Now he calling out the nations, the tabernacles of Edom. So he just said, these are the nations of people who hate me and they serve the devil. The tabernacles of Edom, all of them, same eagle, different wings, different feathers, all of them, it don't matter, right? And the Ishmaelites, all the Arabs and all that, and y'all, you want to be Muslim and all that, bro, they don't like you. Go over there and you ask one of them Ishmaelites, you ask one of them Arabs, go over there. You think it's out? Go over to Dubai, go over to the UAE, go over there and ask them, let me take your daughter's hand in marriage. Let me take your sister's hand in marriage. You see what they look at you and say. But you over there, you calling them brothers. Niggas ain't your brothers. They Ishmaelites. Of Moab, take your butt over to Hong Kong, take him to go over to Beijing, sit down, get cool with Wang Tong. All that. Ask him to take his daughter in marriage and see what he say to you. You being a big nose, big lip Negro. Ask him what he gonna say to you. No. Well, why? I thought we brothers. I thought we all believe in Jesus. No, we are not the same. Y'all need to understand that, right? Look, read through this, right? 6, 7. These are the enemies of the Israelites. Go through that, right? So when you see stuff like this, and matter of fact, yeah, let me get that. When you see stuff like this, and they're apologizing, right? And he's on here apologizing with a little smirk on his face. Bruh, no. The Most High is not playing it. He said they're going to try to restore the goods to the Israelites. Matter of fact, let me get that. He said they're going to try to restore the good. This is what they doing. Let's get that. Matter of fact, I believe that's the book of Job. I think it's 20. He says they're going to try to restore, meaning they're going to try to pay for your lunch and pay your car note and give you a job, make you think they're cool, man. That's not even shekels on a penny for what's owed to us. Yeah, this is it right here. Oh, this is meat right here. This is it right here, right? This is it right here. Matter of fact, hold on, stand by. Let me go ahead and get this one first. Let me get this one first in Zephaniah, because I just mentioned something, and somebody just texted me just that quick about the Ethiopians. Look, I'm gonna get right to it. Right when Lord YAHAWAH said, yeah, he gonna go to Basra, whoop the whoop, right? That's he's talking about Esau. That was a high providence. That's like saying Washington D.C., London, England, etc. Right? He talked about the Ethiopians too. All his garments gonna be dripping in blood, not from people, from sinners. No, he going after every single nation had their hand in on our slavery. Watch this. People like to say Ethiopia wasn't colonized. It's because they Hamites, bro. They're Hamites. That's why they weren't colonized. What we just read is in Psalms 83 and Joel chapter 3. The Hamites got with all the other nations and the Grecians to sell the Hebrew people into slavery. The Ethiopians are from Ham. That's why the Lord, Christians, look at that, verse 12. Y'all like say, they got the oldest Bible. They got the real calendar. They don't have nothing. They Hamites. They teaching y'all lies. Verse 12, Zephaniah 2, verse 12. Ye Ethiopians also, you shall be slain by my sword. That's a commandment. He used shall. Why? Why is he doing that if they Israelites? Because they're Hamites. They help sell us into slavery too. And everybody posting these little TikTok or and Instagram dancing videos of them jumping around dancing. Man, say, cut the raccooning. They Hamites. I don't care. They're Hamites, right? Let me go back and get that in the book of Job real quick. I think that's in what I just go to, chapter 20. Let me get that. Let me go back and get that. Then we can go ahead and close out. I say Job 20. I know it's in 20. It's kind of a long chapter, a little bit. Oh, there it is right there. Salak. All right, Job 20. This whole chapter is talking about that. The Most High giving you, this is everything they're going to start to do in the end time. This is why some of y'all deceived. Well, my coworker cool. I go to brunch with my friend and they're Edomite or Amalekite. They this. And I'm like, man, no, they're not. They are not your friends. Go and tell them, if they really love you, say, the land, the house, everything that you got of iniquity, sell it all, give it all to me for free, and go back over to your country. And see what they tell you. No. Well, I worked for it. I did this. No. It's real simple. Explain it to your child, right? Explain it to your child, right? If you growing up with your child, you in the house every day, you bought your daughter a bike, you bought your son a bike, and you got a bike. Y'all go riding y'all bike every day. Your daughter, your son, nephew, whoever, turned 10 years old. You pass away. They pick up your father's bike and take it and keep it. And you don't see it again until you turn 40 or 50. Whose bike is it? The Edomite in you or the Babylonianized Western mindset in you would say, well, but maybe you gave it to him. Well, man, no, that's your bike. That's your land. That's yours. You grew up with that with your father. That's your land. That's yours. So why won't they? And ask that person to give it back. Say, this is my daddy bike. I remember y'all taking it out the front yard when my daddy died. I was too young, but I remember you took it. Can you give it back? And then if they do, they try to sell it back to you with interest. Job chapter 20, verse 10. Let's read this and we'll get out of here, right? And his children, this is what you're seeing today, all of the wicked, Amalek, Esau, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. Bro, then you going to get, look, car loans and credit card approvals. You going to get all that. Man, that's petty to the Most High. He wink at our ignorance. That's what the scriptures say. Pull that one up. That's homework. That's petty to Yahawah. They're going to seek to restore his goods. Watch verse 11. His bones, pay attention. Well, I wasn't around during slavery. That ain't me. His bones are full of the sin of his youth. Oh, 4th of July, America funded in 1776. Man, you think that bloodshed went away? Your bones are full of it. You come from the loins of your daddy. That's why the Most High says, even in the scriptures, he said, the wives of Edom won't even get a pass. Because normally when you go to war, right, to the victor goes the spoils, right? Read through the scriptures. Like a lot of the times when you went to war, things like that, you kept some of the wives. A few times with the Amalek and Edomite wives, Most High said destroy all of them. Don't be messing with no wife. Destroy them, right? This is why he said in Psalms that, hey, they don't even get a pass because somebody had to raise these children. Somebody teach them. Somebody keeping their legacy going. He says they ain't getting a pass either. Let me get that so y'all ain't sitting here listening to me like I'm a Christian pastor. You need to see the words. Verse 11. His bones are full of the sins of his youth, which shall lie down with him in dust. Meaning you, man, woman, and child. All of them gonna lie down. Did all of our children lie down? They had 1 and 2 year olds out there picking cotton. They didn't care. Nope, you get out there too, little June bug. He's only 15 months. So tell him to pick that. Say, look, grab that white stuff off that plant. Put it in the bag. He can do that. they children are gonna lie down with them, right? So with that, hopefully, brothers, few sisters have been edified. Shalom.